You know that dream society sells us, the quantum leap? This idea that you can just wake up tomorrow and through sheer force of will become a completely different person. Well, here's the thing. Your biology just doesn't work that way. When you try to change everything all at once, your brain actually sees it as a threat. Real, lasting transformation, it isn't some big explosion. It's more like an infection. It starts out small, it stays quiet, and then eventually it takes over the whole system. That is the power of what we're going to call the iteration engine. Okay, so let's break this down. On one side, you've got the quantum leap. It's all about that massive, heroic burst of willpower. But look, it triggers your brain's threat response. Now, on the other side, you have the iteration engine. This is totally different. This is about slowly installing a new system piece by piece, building up momentum so quietly that your internal security system, well, it never even notices you're there. See, your brain is hardwired for one thing above all else: survival. And to your brain, massive, sudden changes are a blaring red flag for danger. So the only way to get lasting results is to make changes that are so small, so insidious, that they just fly right under the radar until it's way too late for the old system to even try and fight back. So let's get into the actual science of why those big goals, those New Year's resolutions, why they so often end in failure. And here's a spoiler. It's probably not you. It's actually a feature of your brain's operating system. And the key term here is homeostasis. I want you to think of this like your brain's master program, okay? And its one and only job is to keep everything exactly the same. Its primary directive, which has been coded over thousands and thousands of years, is simple: stability equals survival. I mean, think about it. For most of human history, a sudden drastic change, like, say, running for 2 hours when you normally just sit, that wasn't a sign of self-improvement. No way. That was a sign that you were running from a lion. It meant emergency. And your brain, even today, still reacts exactly the same way. So this is the crucial takeaway right here. When you fail to stick to that intense new gym routine, it is not a lack of willpower. It is your brain's ancient, incredibly powerful survival programming doing its job perfectly. It's trying to save you from what it sees as dangerous, chaotic instability. So how in the world do we get around this? Well, we don't fight it. We get smarter. We start introducing changes that are just too small for our internal alarm system to even pick up on. And this is the magic number: 1%. A 1% improvement in a single day, it's basically invisible. It feels totally insignificant. I mean, drinking one extra glass of water or doing 10 push-ups feels like nothing, right? It's way too small for your brain to register as a threat. But its power isn't in that single action. Oh no, it's in the consistency. And just look at this chart. The math of biology is not linear. That tiny 1%, it compounds on itself day after day. By day 15, you're starting to see a real change. But by day 30, whoa, those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions have created this tidal wave of momentum. You're not just 30% better, you're exponentially better. And that brings us to momentum. This is the tipping point. It's that magic moment where you stop needing discipline because the habit has actually become part of who you are. You stop trying to be a person who works out, you just are a person who works out. The cost of doing the thing becomes lower than the reward of being the person who does it. Okay, but let's be real. Even with the best system in the world, you're gonna have bad days. It's inevitable. So let's talk about how to handle them. The key isn't to avoid setbacks, it's to completely change how you react to them. This is the default reaction for most of us, right? You miss one day at the gym, and suddenly the whole plan is just ruined. We treat a single data point like it's the final verdict. We get emotional, we feel defeated, and we just quit. But winners understand that losses are just lessons in disguise. I mean, Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Thomas Edison had thousands of failures. They didn't see these moments as the end. They saw them as feedback. They just refused to let a little failure define them. So let's adopt a brand new protocol. Let's call it neural debugging. Instead of drama, you bring data. A failure is not a moral failing on your part. It's just a bug in your system that needs a tiny little tweak. Did you fail because you were too tired? Okay, maybe the habit needs to happen earlier in the day. The goal here is to analyze, not agonize. And that, right there, is the ultimate reframe. Real resilience isn't about being tougher or having more grit. It's just about being a calm, objective observer of your own performance. especially when, it gets uncomfortable. All right, now for the really practical part. Here is a simple but incredibly powerful tool for getting this whole iteration engine started and, more importantly, keeping it running. The rule is it's incredibly simple. If the new habit you want to start takes more than 2 minutes, it's too ambitious to start with. The barrier to entry has to be so low that it feels ridiculous not to do it. So read a book becomes read one page. Go for a run becomes put on your running shoes. So here's the protocol step by step. 1. Pick a single anchor habit to focus on, just one. 2. Shrink it down to its absolute 2-minute minimum version. And 3, this is the most important part, you enforce the never zero rule. The never zero rule is your safety net. On your absolute worst day, you're tired, you're stressed, you have zero motivation, you still do the 2-minute version. You never put a 0 on the board. This single rule is what keeps that compounding engine running. It means you maintain momentum, even on your worst days, which proves that a single setback can't derail your entire progress. So let's pull all of this together. We're going to reframe this entire journey to take all the pressure off and actually encourage some experimentation. The next 30 days are not a sprint to some imaginary finish line. Think of them as a beta test for the rest of your life. You are not a final draft. You are constantly being revised. This isn't about passing or failing. It's just about gathering data. And this just removes every single excuse, doesn't it? We can't wait for the perfect Monday or the perfect month or that perfect burst of motivation. The perfect moment to start building a new life isn't some grand occasion off in the future. It's the smallest, most insignificant moment that you can grab right now. So I'll leave you with this one question. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, but right now. What is the 2-minute, 1% action that you can take to start your iteration engine?